Sage, now on ESPN.com, cool article, Mike Schmitz and Kirk Goldsberry break down Zion's game and who he compares to in the NBA. Let's start with the defense. Zion profiles similar to Draymond Green as an undersized forward with the ability to trap, pick and rolls, and recover quickly on switches. In the open court, Zion draws comparisons to Ben Simmons. Both are sizable players who can rebound and push off the glass with shifty agility. Off those transition chances, Zion could remind fans of Blake Griffin as a playmaker. Griffin has developed into a triple-double threat, and Zion shows similar passing instincts. Attacking the glass, especially on the offensive end, Sir Charles, similar to the likes of Charles Barkley. Last year at Duke, Williamson led the ACC with over 3 offensive boards per game. And Zion is undersized. At times employs a bull in the China shop mentality around the basket where he scores the majority of his points, a style that is similar to Julius Randle. And the projected number 1 overall pick in tomorrow night's NBA draft, Zion Williamson, joins us now on SportsCenter. Zion, when you hear those comparisons, which one fits your style in your mind?
Maybe all of them. I try to take something from a lot of players' games and just combine it into me.
Is there one player you try to model more of your game after?
I'm gonna probably say like LeBron with trying to be an all-around player, Jordan with how hard he played on offense and defense, Russell Westbrook with the tenacity he brings, and Kawhi Leonard with just his business-like mentality.
Well, you take the best of everybody, and you're creating a super player. We'll see how this plays out. Now, the big story, of course, in the NBA this week has been Anthony Davis leaving New Orleans to go to the Lakers in a trade. What was your reaction to that move?
It was like, all right, cool. Like, I mean, he's a grown man who probably has a great team around him. So, I mean, this is a business, so he made the best decision for himself. So I don't think nobody's really hurt from this because that's just a business move.
I know you mentioned it. It's a little tough that people mention that you're going to be the projected number 1 pick, but with that comes this territory of being the face of a franchise. How do you embrace that?
I mean, I just look at it as I'm playing the game I love, and I'm a competitor. I love to win, so whatever team drafts me, whatever they need me to do, I'm ready to do it. I embrace it with no pressure. Like I'm just a hooper.
Let's talk about your trip to New Orleans, because you had to tell people and clear the air that you did not order chicken tenders. Why did you have to clear the record there? Tell us more.
I mean, that was my first time going to New Orleans, so I was gonna try something like different. And I mean, chicken tenders, I can get that anywhere. I'd probably order it again. I'd probably order it somewhere else, but no, I got fried shrimp, some French fries, and mashed potatoes.
That's good living right there. It's a good choice, a good option aside from chicken tenders. Now, earlier in the show, we had Ja Morant on to ask him about his memories playing with you in AAU. That was just 4 years ago. What's your memory of Ja when you guys played together with the Hornets? He had a similar game like how he does now, and I mean, he's a great passer. Like, Ja would make a lot of no-look passes on the money. He would make a pass I didn't even think he would see. He would control the game in different type of ways. And, I mean, he just brought the energy, and he was ready to compete with anybody. Pretty cool that 4 years later, you guys have the chance to go 1-2 tomorrow night. Zion, we appreciate the time. Enjoy tomorrow with your family.
Thank you.
Women's World Cup as the United States advanced to the knockout round after rolling through its first 2 group stage games. Let's recap it for you. In the Group F opener against Thailand, the U.S. scored a World Cup record 13 goals, you may recall, 5 of which came from Alex Morgan, tied for the most in a game in women's or men's World Cup history. How about Carly Lloyd? She scored once against Thailand, but then she netted 2 goals against Chile Sunday, becoming the oldest player, and that's a compliment, the oldest player in FIFA Women's World Cup history to have a multi-goal game, the one and only Carly Lloyd. And tomorrow, the U.S. will look to win the group against rival Sweden. This could be a revenge match as Sweden, remember, eliminated the U.S. in the quarterfinals of the 2016 Rio Olympics on penalty kicks. Listen.
despite the fact that it's been 3 years, you don't forget the taste in your mouth when you fail and when you lose in a world championship. And I think that there's a little bit of that will definitely act as motivation. And you always play to win and to never have that feeling again.
It's the first time since the Olympics that we meet in this kind of settings. So I think they do want to put us in our place. That's my feeling.
Yeah, the Swedes know they're coming, right? ESPN soccer analyst Julie Foudy joins us now from France the day before this USA-Sweden matchup with that chance, Jules, to avenge the loss. So you tell me, what should we be looking for as we pay attention to this game, 3 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow?
That is the perfect answer of the United States is coming for Sweden. And that's what it is. They've been waiting for 3 years, even though press says, well, sometimes, we don't think about it, but they're thinking about it all the time. You talk to the players, it's their chance to make a statement. One, to show that what happened in 2016 shouldn't have happened, and this is a better team. And two, that they're not afraid to face France in the quarterfinals, because if they win this group, which it looks like the United States does with a win or a draw, then they most likely faced, if they beat Spain, they face France in Paris in the quarterfinal. And everyone says, do you want to avoid that? The U.S. is saying, no, we don't want to avoid that. We want Sweden and we want France.
Mm-hmm. See, this is why I love this sport and love those women in particular. Bring on the revenge matches. Again, tomorrow, 3 o'clock Eastern time in France, the USA versus Sweden. Julie Foudy, as always, getting us set. Thank you, Jules. See you soon.
News as we continue to follow new developments in the investigation surrounding the David Ortiz shooting in the Dominican Republic. During a news conference late this afternoon, the country's attorney general said the June 9th shooting was the result of mistaken identity. David Ortiz was not the intended target. Here's surveillance video on the night Ortiz was shot outside a nightclub. The target of the shooting was Sixto David Fernandez, a friend of Ortiz who was sitting at the same table. According to authorities, Fernandez was known to reserve that table every Sunday night, and he and Ortiz were wearing similar clothing that specific night. ESPN's Marley Rivera joins us now from the Dominican. And Marley, you were in the room during this news conference after 10 days of speculation and unverified reports. What was the reaction inside the room when authorities said Ortiz was not the intended target?
I have to say it was a mixed reaction. There was a bit of disbelief, and actually there was some clapping. And I had the opportunity to follow up with the Attorney General, and I asked him, there could be questions in the international community as to the veracity of this report that they're saying, and he said, evidence is evidence, and science, and we can prove this in a court of law. So he said, these are the facts, and they're undisputed.
A stunning development in this investigation as Ortiz remains in good condition. Marley Rivera joining us live from the Dominican Republic. Want to also know they have 11 suspects detained right now. Authorities say they are still searching for 3 more suspects.
Marley Rivera doing a great job down there, and hopefully we continue to hear more and more information. Most importantly, Big Papi recovering again, upgraded yesterday to good condition at a hospital in Boston. That is it for us here on SportsCenter. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Enjoy the College World Series next. Florida State